Okey, Assalamualaikum dan selamat petang semua. Bertemu kita kembali dalam siaran ulang kaji Magic Revision semester 2 slot 3 untuk mata pelajaran fizik. Okay, dan sekali lagi kita bersama dengan pensyarah cemerlang fizik iaitu Sir Muhammad Shakir Abdullah dari Kolej Matrikulasi Selangor. Okey, beliau seorang yang berkelulusan daripada University of Leicester UK, cukup berpengalaman mengajar fizik di matrikulasi iaitu lebih kurang 8 tahun ya, Sir Shakir. Okey, jadi tanpa membuang masa, saya serahkan ulang kaji kita yang berfokuskan Guide to Mastering Physics Question bersama Sir Shakir. Jadi saya persilakan Sir Shakir.
Okey, terima kasih kepada moderator kita. Okay, saya harap yang menonton, yang melihat ni, student-student, pelajar-pelajar yang melihat ni boleh ikutlah sama-sama dalam petang ni, waktu dalam petang ni untuk nak sama-sama mengikuti apa yang akan saya kongsilah, yang akan saya share berkenaan dengan kita punya tips dan trik kita untuk subjek fizik, persiapan ke arah PSPM kita lah. Okay, so today our chapter, our topic is about guide to mastering physics questions. So my focus is on a guidance for you. Okay, I will share with you a guide for you to understand questions in exam. Okay, sebab majoriti ramai pelajar yang memang ada masalah selalu, dia kata fizik ni dia tak boleh jawab sebab dia tak tahu nak guna formula mana. Okay, truth to be told, sebenarnya it start from you doesn't understand what the question asking you. Okay, so this is why I'm suggesting these types of tricks and tips untuk you punya preparations. Okay, so first of all, we start with the list of selected formula and exam. But before we start with the selected formula, we start with what is a chapter, or sorry for the title, what is the chapter included inside of your questions. Okay, so based on, there are 10 questions. Okay, in our physics paper we have 10 questions, and each questions have chapter allocated and the marks allocated for that question. So for example, in this case, questions 1, electrostatic, we have 13 marks. Questions 2, capacitor and dielectrics, we have 4 marks. Okay, question 3, electric current and direct current circuits, 15 marks. Question 4, electromagnetic induction, 13 marks. Question 5, alternating current, 13 marks. Question 6, geometrical optic, 12 marks. Question 7, physical optics, 12 marks. Question 8, quantizations of light, 6 marks. Question 9, wave properties of particles, 4 marks. And the last question, which is question number 10, which is nuclear and particle physics, 8 marks. Okay, so all these marks, please take note that all these marks is not permanently, meaning there will be a slightly changes from time to time, but the chapter is fixed, meaning question 1, we always have electrostatics, question 2, capacitor, dielectric, and so on. So this is a good thing for all of the students, for you to arrange your strategies, which chapter that you want to focus with first. Why? Because of you need to answer all the question from question 1 until 10. But if you have a difficulty, macam kita tak tahu nak start daripada mana, where you need to start, what chapter that you need to focus first. So I'm suggesting you to focus on the chapter that have all the chapter that have quite a high marks and easy chapter. For example, like geometrical optics, physical optic, and then electrostatics, electric current and direct current. So this is all the chapters that have a really high marks and quite easy for you to understand the concepts of physics. But be careful, sometimes if the concept is really simple or easy to understand, the question is a little bit tricky. So that is why there are pros and cons there. If you have the physical concept that easier for you to understand, you have a slightly tricky questions. But if you have the quite high the concept of the physics inside of that chapter, for example, alternating current, electromagnetic induction. So it's really hard for you to understand, but the question is really direct. It's not tricky enough because of the concept itself is quite tough for you to understand. So there is a pro and cons there. So you feel free to choose any chapter that you want to focus first. Doesn't mean you need to be selective, but you need to answer all the questions. But if you doesn't know where to start, so you can choose which chapter that you want to focus first, and then you can study the other chapter, the rest of the chapter after that, after you already focus on the chapter that you want. Okay, so this is it, the reason why we telling you all the questions, all the chapters, all the marks, because we want you to have your own strategies. Okay, then we look into our formula. Okay, so before we look into our formula, so this is a tip from this is actually how you answer the questions in physics. Okay, so FSA, I'm using the letters here, F, S, and A. So F stands for the formula. So this is a structure, the way for you to answer the question. So every questions, so after you read the questions, after you understand the question, after you look at what you need to know, to do, what you need to know, what you need to write down. So the way you are writing down or showing your answers, showing your working is by formula, substitution, and answers. So that's it. So formula, luckily you are not, sorry, these formula are not given. Okay, the marks are not given for the formula. Okay, except for the concept. Certain formula are not given for you. Okay, so before this, memang sebelum ni formula, when you writing down, you are given the marks. But in latest punya, kita punya format yang baru, the formula is given for you. So no need for you to memorize anymore all the equations, all the formula. Okay. But there are certain concepts, physics are not given for you. So that is included as a K1, which is concept. Okay, so if you writing down that things, which is the formula are not given for you, so that means you understand the concepts of physics. So tak banyak pun formula yang tak diberi. Almost every formula that you need to memorize in physics are given for you. So there's no more marks for formula, but you need to writing it down. Okay, why? Because of it's showing a proper working scheme. So bila nak tunjukkan jalan kerja, kena tunjuk betul lah. So you need to writing down walaupun tak dapat markah untuk formula. Because of the reason why we are not giving you the marks, because of formula are given. So I will show you later the list of the formula given for you. There's a 92 formula that are given for you. So, and sometimes I will show you how, even though that you don't understand a concept in physics, but after you reading the question itself, you can learn on how to understand the concept bit by bit from the question itself. Okay, so nanti kita akan tunjukkan. So and then after you writing out the formula, you have a substitutions, gantian. Okay, so you already have the formula and then you substitute all the value given for you. Okay, so this is a bit tricky. Sometimes the substitution itself not given, the value are not given to you directly. Contoh, for example, if you are using formula for the direct current, V equal to IR, Ohm's law, V equal to IR. Sometimes, okay, let's say the question asking you to find the voltage V, and then you are given the I, and then you are not given the R. Okay, you are not given R. Okay, but you are given the value for the length, I mean, okay, for example, for the length. So you need to find a way to calculate the R first using the length given, okay, the length of the wire given for you. So you need to find a way how to find the resistance of the wire based on the length, given the length. So this is sometimes a tricky like that, yang a lot of student doesn't know, meaning you need to combine two formula to get the answers. So that is a little bit tricky for you. But actually sebenarnya kalau you focus betul-betul, you read a lot of questions, you look, there's a hint there yang dia memang cakap, okay, you need to use this formula for that. Okay, so this is why substitution ni kalau tricky like that, dia akan combine two equations, and then kalau really easy, you have one formula, you are given directly the value itself, so you can substitute into the formula. Okay, but a lot of students tends to do a lot of mistakes, careless mistakes, which is during substitution, a lot of you forgot or selalunya tak buat lah, okay? Alasannya because of you terlupa, because of apa yang you tak buat, which is you forget to convert into the SI unit. Okay, please take note, every value that given to you, okay, tak kira lah value tu dalam SI unit or not SI unit, yang given to you inside of the formula, inside of the questions, if you want to substitute or using that formula, that value into the formula, you must convert it first. Okay, sebab the formula itself memang semua value dia, memang semua dia punya simbol itu in SI unit. So if you are substituting the value into the equations without convert it into the SI unit, memang salah lah, nilai dia tu salah lah, sebabnya you cannot have voltage without current dia dalam current dia dalam amperes. Sebab kalau you pakai micro, so you need to convert it into amperes. So that is what I mean by convert, mesti tukar. So mostly student ada masalah nak convert from the prefix lah, sentimeter tukar jadi meter, micrometer tukar jadi meter. So most of you terlupa nak tukar tu, terus substitute nilai. Okay, so please careful with that. Thanks. And the last one is answer. After you substitute using your calculator, tekan calculator, ikut macam you substitute, and then you can write down your answers in 3 significance figure, and the most important part, answers with the correct unit. Unit also must be in SI unit lah. The familiar unit macam voltage, voltage in volt, and current in amperes, resistance in ohms, something like that. Okay, so mesti tulis unit yang kita familiar dan dalam SI unit lah. Wajib tulis unit. Kalau unit salah, you have the right answer, still you got wrong. Okay, so we consider as wrong. So and then that's it for the how you writing down formula, substitution and answers. Okay, now we look into the formula, all the formula given for you. So this is a list of formulae that are given to you. Okay, since there are 92 formula, a lot, okay, terlalu banyak formula yang diberi, so it is best for you to recognize which formula in which chapter. Sebab apa? Dekat soalan kita, dia based on chapter. Question 1, electrostatic. Question 2, capacitor. So you ada 92 equation yang memang dia tak cakap pun dekat mana you punya chapter, dekat dalam equation tu, which part which. So you nak pilih 92 tu dalam satu soalan is a lot. Okay, sometimes you get confused. You easily get confused. You tak tahu nak pakai. That is why even though we are giving you a formula, but you still doesn't know how to use, because of what? Because of you doesn't know which formula belongs to which chapter. So it is best for you. Now I'm telling you, okay, suggesting you, when you dapat soalan nanti, dapat question nanti, bila you buka formula tu, you terus like listing down. Maksudnya from nombor 1, for example, in this case, I'm telling you electrostatic from 1 until 9. Okay, from 1 until 9 is all the formula in electrostatics. Okay, we start with F equal to QQ divided by R square, KQQ divided by R square, up until 9, E equal to delta V over D. So all of this formula is included or you learn in chapter electrostatic, the first chapter, which is in the being asking in the first questions. So when you are answering the first questions, kita tahu nak pakai formula mana daripada 9. Tak payahlah kita nak pilih daripada 1 sampai 92. Okay, so you need just to choose between formula number 1 up until number 9. So kita dah kecilkan scope kita punya formula. So that is why you need to know which formula, which chapter. Okay, so capacitor and dielectrics, starting from number 10 up until 19. Okay, and then electric current and direct current circuits, so starting from formula number 20 up until number 31. Okay, 31. Okay, magnetic fields, well, okay, magnetic fields or magnetism. Okay, magnetic fields nama untuk yang lama lah, yang the new syllabus kita gunakan magnetism. Okay, that magnetism walaupun tak masuk dalam exam sebab kita dah jadikan soalan assignment kan, this chapter is assignment. But magnetism, you also are given the formula. Why? Okay, why? Because of electromagnetic induction are related with the magnetism. So kadang-kadang formula dalam magnetism ni akan digunakan juga when you are answering the electromagnetic induction. So this is why is given for you. Okay, for example, when you are in electromagnetic induction, you can look at the questions number 50, 51, and 53. Okay, so you have self-inductance for coil and solenoid, and then 53 is a mutual inductance. Okay, this concept actually you are combining the basic concept for the induced EMF and the magnetic fields that produce that induced EMF. So maksudnya dia nak combine dua konsep sebenarnya dalam tu. So this is why kita bagi juga you punya formula in the magnetism, because of sometimes kadang-kadang you kena ambil formula tu nak combine masuk, nak kena guna. Okay, so that is why tak adalah guna semua, but sometimes you akan kena guna. So that is why you are given for you, walaupun question untuk magnetism tak ada. Okay, so don't get confused. So 32 up until 40 is a formula for magnetism or magnetic fields. And then electromagnetic induction starting from 41 up until 53. Okay, so jangan keliru lah. Maksudnya kalau you jawab soalan electromagnetic induction, you kena tengok focus first on formula between 41 up until 53. And then kalau ada related nak kena guna, for example like I said before this lah, you have a tricky question, macam cari dalam ni you nak substitute the value of n for example, so you doesn't know where to find it, so you can also sometimes they are using formula from 33, 34, something like that. Okay, this is why you kena mix and match the formula, so you need to be creative lah to mix and match. Okay, and then alternating current starting from 54 up until 65, quite a lot formula. Okay, and then geometrical optics starting from 66 up until 70 formulas, and then physical optics 71 up until 79, quantizations of light 80 up until 85, wave properties of particles 86 up until 88, and then the last chapter, which is question number 10, nuclear and particle physics 89 up until 92. So I hope that what I'm listing down for you here is helping you in terms of what types of equations that you need to use depends on what question that you are answering. Okay, so harapnya membantu sedikit lah. So lagi bagus kita buat benda macam ni. So bila nanti dapat kertas soalan, you tandakan ini chapter apa, ini chapter apa. Kalau you tak nak tanda chapter pun, you tanda by question lah. Okay, from here to here question number 1, from here to here question number 2. So it helping you untuk nak kecilkan skop pemilihan equations. So bila kita nak pilih tu dah berkurangan, so jadi senang untuk kita lihat equation apa yang kita nak guna, instead of you nak tengok daripada from 1 until 92, sebab there's a lot equations. Okay, and then don't forget you also are given the values of constant value tak ada masalah lah sebabnya tak terlalu banyak. Okay, macam formula kita. Okay, now we are focusing on what we are going to do today, which is how to understand the question itself. Okay, so I will share with you how you can read the question, macam mana nak keluarkan. So I do believe a lot of your lecturer or teachers memang really share with you all the tips to understand the questions. But the problem is not everybody really do it properly on how so that you can understand the questions. Sebab tu tak ramai yang reti buat. Maksudnya walaupun you dah buat apa yang cikgu you cakap, okay, suruh highlight, suruh apa ke, but you still walaupun buat but you still doesn't understand macam mana yang properly kena buat. So saya akan share sini, kita akan pergi by soalan. Tak adalah banyak soalan, kita akan share 2 jenis soalan. Okay, and then kita akan pergi from that soalan. So I will helping you how you can understand based on the question itself. Okay, macam mana kita nak buat sebenarnya untuk betul-betul faham. Okay, so jangan risau kalau you still doesn't understand the concept 100% pun tak ada masalah, sebabnya bagusnya adalah kertas fizik kita dah bagi formula, and from the formula itself is all the concept there. Okay, even though that you don't understand 100% what the formula is about, but you still can answer the questions because of the formula are given for you. But one thing you need to understand each symbol, what it represents. Okay, yang tu je yang you need to know. Simbol tu membawa maksud nilai apa, sebab dalam soalan dia akan cakap. Okay, so now we start with the how to tackle the questions. Okay, so I'm using the acronym again, BTS. Okay, since it's related with you. Okay, so since all of you really love the Korean idol groups, so I'm using BTS. So in this case, B stands for bulat. Okay, meaning bulat means you need to bulatkan, highlightkan, underline or anything that showing when you are reading the question itself, you can focus on what the keywords exist inside of the questions. So that is the reason why we need to bulatkan, highlightkan, underline and anything yang related lah berkaitan dengan macam tu. Kalau you tak nak bulatkan, you ada highlighter, you using your highlighter, you can highlight the question, the keywords only. Don't highlight the whole questions, okay? Because of it, dia akan mengelirukan kita balik lah, sebab kalau semua the whole question you highlight and then the whole question is in colours, what else that you can understand, okay? So bulatkan, underline. Kalau you tak ada highlighter, you boleh bulatkan. Kalau you tak nak bulatkan, takut semak, you boleh gariskan. Okay, tetapi that I do believe a lot of lecturer are sharing these tips with you, but the problem is not everybody, okay, not every students do it properly dengan cara the second step, which is tulis. Okay, tulis ini yang ramai yang tak berapa faham how to do it. Okay, after you highlight all the keywords inside of the question, the second tips that you need to do is tulis. Okay, apa yang you nak tulis? Okay, you need to writing down the symbol that represent that keywords, if you can. Meanings like this. Okay, kalau dia sebut voltage, okay, the another name, nama lain bagi voltage is potential difference. See, so you need to know every keyword inside of the questions, and you need to know the symbol. Because of what? Because when you writing down the symbols, the equation consists of symbol. Dia ada simbol-simbol dia dalam equation, dalam formula tu. So kalau you tak tulis symbol bila you highlight, how can you understand, can you know which equation that you need to use to answer the questions? So itu sebabnya kenapa ramai pelajar tak tulis benda ni. Dia tak buat. Walaupun dia highlight, walaupun dia garis, you have a tendency untuk lupa benda tu. Sebab apa? Sebab you tak tulis simbol that represent perkataan yang you highlightkan. You kena tulis simbol itu so that bila you sekali pandang, you akan nampak simbol, oh ada S, ada V, oh okay, which formula that consists of S, which formula that consists of V, see? So it's easier for you to choose. Tadi kita dah kecilkan scope kita, formula by chapter. Sekarang kita kecilkan lagi dengan kita tengok apakah simbol yang wujud dalam soalan. So that is the reason why is the best for you after you highlight, after you bulatkan, you kena tuliskan simbol yang wujud. So that is the reason why. Okay, tuliskan simbol. Nak tulis kat mana? Okay, tulislah dekat atas perkataan yang you highlight ke, kat tepi ke, which part of it inside of the question yang you boleh nampak dengan jelas. Okay, and then second, after dah you buat tu, apa lagi yang you buat? Tulis lagi semula beserta nilai. For example, macam you are given the value of voltage, V equal to berapa? 1.0 volt, something like that. Tulis semula. Mula-mula dah tulis pada soalan, and then second, tulis semula, keluarkan all the important informations untuk you nak susun macam mana strategi yang kita nak tengok. So that you clearly. Tapi kalau yang you tak keluarkan, tak susun semula, itu pun tak apa sebenarnya. Dia bukanlah kata wajib, tapi it makes you organize your work. Okay, dia nampak tersusun. Bila tersusun, kita tahu lepas ni nak buat apa step by step. So this is why you jangan, when you reading the question, a lot of student they have a problem when answering the question because of you tendency nak jawab, terus nak fikir jawapan dia apa. No, you need to do it step by step. First of all, when you read the question, asking yourself, which formula that I need to use? So to use any equations, you need to ask yourself again, apakah nilai yang dia bagi? So, bila you need to know what is the value given for you, so you need to writing down so that you can clearly see what is the value given to you. So see clearly. So when you do it step by step, and then you can get the answers. So don't focus on finding the answers. You need to focus on after this, what I need to do step by step. Sebab kalau you keep focusing on, okay, nak dapat jawapan, and then mostly you doesn't know apakah step in between the answers. So faham tak? So that is the reason why kalau boleh jangan terlalu, kata orang tu, seronok sangat nak dapatkan mengejar jawapan sedangkan kita lupa macam mana nak menulis jalan kerja kita supaya orang faham. Because of what? In physics, you are given marks not based on the correct answer only. Okay, you are given mark based on your steps. I mean, kalau you punya konsep betul tetapi jawapan salah, you still can get the marks of the concept. But if your answer is correct and your concept is wrong, you can get 0 because of your concept is wrong. We can say that penanda kertas awak akan boleh cakap yang student ni maybe is just guessing, kebetulan jawapan dia betul, but the concept is wrong. So that is why don't focus on get the correct answer. Focus on how to writing down so that people can understand you punya jalan kerja. So this is much better, okay? Because of the right concept always lead to the right answers. If you have the right answer but the wrong concept, you don't get nothing, zero. Okay, so that's a really, really big problem. Okay, so and the last part is soalan. Soalan ni apa? After you dah keluarkan all the information, you kena tanya balik diri you. Soalan ni nak tanya apa? What is the question for this question? When you reading, okay, soalan tu dia ada beberapa ayat penyataan dan juga ayat soalan. Ayat soalan itu yang you need to know. Dia nak tanya apa yang perlu saya kira. That is the question that you need to answer. So finding out, bila you baca soalan, tanya diri kita, soalan ni tanya apa sebenarnya? Apa yang saya kena cari? So that is the question. So if you can answer that question, meaning you know the question itself asking you to do what. So you can dah tahulah nak buat apa step by step. So that is why the last part is the soalan. Asking yourself what question that this all the sentence asking me, what I need to do. So tanya pada diri kita. Kalau tak jumpa lagi soalan jawapan kepada soalan ini, what you need to do, read again. Ulang balik. Normally based on my experience, student kalau you repeat this process, buat berkali-kali, dalam 3 kali, when you repeat 3 times, you dah boleh dapat dah, you dah boleh nampak soalan tu apa. Okay, here's the tips. Kalau masih lagi you dah repeat the questions, you dah highlightkan, dah tulis semula, and then you tanya soalan, apa soalan nak tanya ni? Saya tak tahu. Okay, 3 kali you dah buat. Still lagi you still doesn't get any idea at all what question asking you to do. Okay, don't panic, stop, move on to the next questions. Okay, why? Why this is very important? Because of in exam, the best part that you need to do is keep calm. Kena sentiasa tenang, jangan panik. So that is why untuk elakkan awak panik, kalau you dah baca 3 kali soalan yang sama masih lagi doesn't get the idea, stop panicking yourself. Jangan forcing yourself, jangan burden your mind untuk keep thinking something that gonna make you panic, because of your brain are not working well or functioning well when you are in the panic situations. So that is why you need to keep calm during the whole exam. Okay, maksudnya kena sentiasa tenang, tak boleh panik waktu dalam. Sebab kalau you panik, lagi otak you tak boleh berfikir. So that is why lagi tak boleh berfikir, lagilah tak boleh jawab soalan. So that is why you need to keep calm dalam setiap kali jawab soalan. Maksudnya bila you baca tak faham, okay, repeat 2 kali, repeat 3 kali, and then stop. If you still doesn't get the idea, stop, proceed with the next question. Because of sometimes the hardest question mungkin dekat soalan paling yang pertama. So you akan jumpa soalan yang senang di belakang. Kita tak tahu soalan you yang senang, yang susah yang mana satu. So that is why when you are reading 3 times, doesn't get the ideas, stop reading, proceed with the next questions, answering next question, repeat the same, bulatkan, tuliskan, and then soalan until you find out the question that you have, and then you can answer. Because of you need to build your own confidence when you are answering the question. When you are confident, you already achieve the confidence, then patah balik, jawab balik soalan yang tadi kita tak ada idea. Because of what? You already have the confidence itself. Dan you know, you keep telling yourself that yes, I can do it, I boleh jawab. So kalau tadi pun soalan I boleh jawab, takkan this one I tak boleh jawab. See, you can get the confidence by answering the question. So this is a tips when you are answering the question. Don't panic. Okay, so if you find the hard question, proceed with the next questions. Don't waste your time. That's why dia 2 dalam 1. Kalau you dah panic and then you buang masa lagi, kalau you jawab kekal nak buat, padahal you punya otak dah tak boleh nak berfikir dengan sempurna. So this is why you need to proceed to the soalan yang lagi senang. So to boost your self confidence, and then you boleh patah balik semula, jawab soalan yang susah bila you dah selesai jawab soalan-soalan lain. Okay, now okay, we look at the example. Okay, now I will show you how tadi kita ada BTS kan, kita ada bulatkan, kita ada tuliskan, dan kita ada soalan. Okay, now saya hanya nak fokus, okay, I just want to focus in not answering the question. I just want you to get a glimpse of the idea, formula apa nak pakai. So I'm not helping you up nanti nak kena substitution semua tu. I do believe all of you have the, kata orang tu dah boleh dah kan, macam bila ada nilai, masuk nilai dalam formula. Okay, so your problem is macam mana from the question itself you nak dapat formula apa nak guna. Okay, that is what I'm showing you today. Okay, I'm not showing you sampai dapat jawapan final semua. Saya tak nak tunjuk yang tu sebab saya percaya kalau you dah dapat equation apa nak pakai, you substitute, you dah boleh dapat jawapan dah automatically. You tekan calculator. So the problem is understanding the question. So that is why how you want to mastery the skill of understanding the questions. Okay, now we have example here. Saya ambil dua contoh soalan. Satu chapter 1, question 1. So electrostatic because of quite a lot dia punya markah dia 13 I guess. Okay, tadi saya tunjuk. Okay, and then second chapter I'm taking the most kata orang tu markah paling banyak, which is question number 3, which is direct current circuit. So we go first in electrostatics. So the question asking you the electric field at a point 10 centimeter away. Okay, so at point okay, so you ada jarak dia 10 cm. Okay, electric fields. Charge P as in figure 1 is 2.7 times 10 power of 6 Newton per coulomb. Determine the charge of P. Okay, now when you are reading, okay, so a good thing this question is quite easy because of why you are given the figure. When you are given the figure, automatically you can clearly see the questions, what it's all about, the situation of the question. But sometimes the questions are not giving you the figure. When you are not giving the figures, what you need to do, based on the question that you're reading, okay, this is a tips for question number 1. So if you are not given the figure, so what you need to do when you are reading the question itself, you need to sketch your own diagram for you to understand, so for helping you to understand the figure, okay, the situation itself. So that is the reason why you need to sketching. Sketching is very important. Why? Because of when you look, okay, because of you want to telling your mind when you are seeing something clearly, so you can understand more. So this is why helping yourself to understanding the question, sketching what the question is all about. If you are not given the figure, in this case, in this question, you are given the figure, so it's quite lucky for you. So we can consider this question is quite easy sebab dia dah bagi gambar rajah, so kita boleh nampak apa yang tengah diceritakan. Okay, so the cerita, okay, electric field. So let me show you how we highlighting. So I'm highlighting electric fields and then 10 centimeter. See, I'm giving you what is 10 centimeter. Okay, so we need to know electric fields. And then you need to remember by highlighting unit dah boleh fikir lah, waktu tu kita punya akal dah boleh bergerak, yang kita boleh tunjuk yang okay, electric fields dia punya simbol apa, 10 cm pula point. Okay, you tak nampak kan 10 cm tu apa, so clearly figure tu nampak jarak antara P and Q. What is Q? Q is a charge, P also is a charge, so that's mean the answer nampak. Okay, B kita dah bulatkan, dah highlightkan, and then T right now tuliskan. See, I'm writing down the symbol on inside of the question, on top or dekat sebelah ke, dekat tepi ke, dekat kiri kanan soalan atau highlighting kita. Okay, macam contoh 10 tu apa, nilai R. So this is why when you are reading, asking yourself 10 cm ni nilai apa? Apa simbol dia? See? Because of simbol tu lah yang kita nak guna dalam equations. So that is why 10 cm is R. Okay, walaupun you dah belajar, we know that the distance is S. Displacement is S, distance is D. Sometimes most of the time you are using R as the radius. But in this question, R is a distance, jarak di antara. Okay, dia bukan radius. So that is why you need to know. Symbol is very important. Okay, so 10 cm is a R, and then charge P figure. Okay, so 2.7 times 10 power 6 itu nilai apa? Nilai electric field. And then electric field simbolnya apa? Capital E. So the last one, tadi kan saya kata soal, tanya, nampak tak? Dekat dalam soalan ni pun dia dah cakap, determine the charge charge which is simbolnya Q over P, charge of P. So asking yourself, tanya diri kita, soalan tanya apa? Soalan nak cari nilai charge. Charge simbolnya apa? Q. So kita dapat dah ada 3 simbol, ada Q, ada R, ada E. And then kita boleh proceed patah balik, kita pusing balik, let me undo. kita boleh tengok formula apa yang sesuai. Electrostatic kan tadi kan. Okay, chapter daripada 1 sampai 9. You can see by yourself. Ada E, ada Q, ada R. Which part of it ada E? Okay, number 1 tak boleh pakai sebab F. Number 4 tak boleh V. Number 5 V. Number 6 U. Number 7 U. Number 8 U. Number 9 E. So number 9 you can using. Number 2 you can use. Number 3 you can use. So either this 2, 3 or 9. See? Nampak tak? Kita boleh tengok sendiri. Okay, kita dah kecilkan ada 3. Sekarang tanya tadi ada E. And then you have R. So number 2 you have R? No, you don't have. Okay, so you don't have R. So that's mean nombor 2 pun tak perlu. So nombor 3 dengan nombor 9. 9 pun tak ada R. So that's mean the only equation that you need to use is a number 3. So E equal to KQ divided by R square. Nampak tak? So you can see clearly tau. Oh, baru tahu formula ni lah kena pakai. Okay, so then kita proceed with the questions. From there, kita dah ada. Then, there. So we are using E is equal to KQ divided by R square. And then since the question tanya kita apa tadi? Nak cari Q. So kita susun semula. Rearranging your formula. So untuk dapatkan di sebelah kiri kita adalah perkara yang kita nak kira lah, which is Q. What we want to calculate, Q, which is equal to ER square over K. There R is a 10 centimeter. Please take note when you substitute, this is not in SI unit. Sebab SI unit for the distance adalah meter. So this is in centimeter. So you need to convert into meter. Okay. So please take note this. And then this one, 2.7 times 10 power 6 nano per coulomb. Newton per coulomb. Newton and per coulomb. So this is not, there's no prefix here, already there, 10 power of 6. Okay. So you writing down everything ni lah, 2.7 times 10 power of 6 dekat dalam E, gantikan E. Okay, what is a K? K is a Coulomb constant and that constant are given for you. So tak ada masalah pun dekat you punya paper dekat bahagian depan. So you are given the formula, the constant value and then substitute the values and then you can get the answer directly. So that's it. Nampak? Clearly very simple. Okay, now, okay, we proceed again. Repeat the same. Okay, so these are part B for these questions. With a reference to figure 1, a charge Q is placed 10 cm away from a charge. Maksudnya kita ada Q, yang tadi soalan tadi tak melibatkan Q tau. Okay, electric fields, dia tak sebut Q, dia hanya cakap P saja. Dia kata electric fields, point. We are looking at the point, we are not looking at the charge. Okay, point saja. So maksudnya soalan yang pertama tadi Q ni tak wujud. You need to understand the questions. Okay, dia hanya sebut P saja, charge P and then ada satu titik. Point ni satu titik lah, satu titik yang jaraknya 10 cm daripada P. This is what this question asking. And then cari berapakah nilai charge untuk P. That's it. Okay, the second question is all about the figure. Okay, dia kata now I'm placing another charge which is a Q. The name of the charge Q 10 cm away from the P. Memang macam gambar rajah lah. Okay, sekarang what happened dia kata when charge Q is moved horizontally. Horizontally you kena tahu part CX lah kan. Okay, to the right to a position 5 cm from its initial position. Maksudnya Q ini bergerak ke kanan, which is gambar rajah ni dah tunjuk dah, dia dotted line, Q bergerak ke sini dan jarak ini pula daripada titik asal from initial position is 5 cm. Can you see it? This is why I'm saying when you are given the figure are clearly showing you what the question are writing about. So soalan yang pertama, dalam soalan yang ayat yang mula-mula ni, ayat yang banyak-banyak yang panjang-panjang ni adalah penyataan. Ayat penyataan nak menceritakan situasi supaya you faham. So this is why when you are reading the question, to understand the questions, you need to sketch. Okay? Okay, so kalau figure are given for you, so that means the question is really helping you to understanding. So nak kata soalan tu senang lah sepatutnya. Kalau dia bagi gambar rajah tu sepatutnya dia dah menolong awak untuk nak memahami soalan. So you no need to bother to understanding the question terlalu sangat lah sebab dah ada diberi gambar rajah. Tetapi kalau dia tak beri gambar rajah, so you need to sketch for yourself to helping yourself to understand the questions. Okay. And then there is a 0.54 joule. Okay, change in its electric potential energy. Joule stand for unit for energy. So that means electric potential energy. See? Okay, dia ada penegasan kat sini. Dia sebut ini adalah nilai energy dan we know that joule is the unit for energy. So it's matching our understanding. Okay. Last, tadi kan kita tanya soalan. Tanya apa? Ni, ayat yang terakhir sekali adalah ayat berkenaan dengan soalan. What is the charge of Q? Okay, what is the charge of Q? Meaning you are asking charge. Okay, so again, highlight first. So we have charge Q, and then placing 10 centimeter, and then 5 centimeter is a new position, and then you are given 0.54 joule, which is the energy. Okay, you need to know the symbol for energy. What is it? Charge of Q, charge, simbol apa? Okay, so this is it. 10 centimeter is R. 5 centimeter also R. So you have 2 R there. So nak pakai yang mana satu? Don't get confused. So you need to differentiate. R yang 10 ni R apa? R yang 5 ni R apa? So you need to know. Okay. So delta U. Sebab apa? Why I'm using delta U? I'm not using U. Because of the word change. You have the word change here. Change in its electric potential. Meaning ada perubahan. Dia bagi tahu ni 0.54 joule is a perubahan tenaga. Dia tak bagi tahu nilai tenaga itu. Dia bagi tahu perubahan dia berapa. The gap between the changes. Meaning initial dia tak bagi tahu nilai berapa, final dia tak bagi tahu nilai berapa, dia cuma bagi tahu di antara dua itu nilainya 0.54. Okay, you can get. Okay, let me give you the example. For example, you stand, okay, you berdiri dekat point P. Contoh lah, like say you nak cakap jarak. Point P, point Q. Okay, so jarak di antaranya adalah 10. Okay, so samalah macam konsep ini. Maksudnya dekat sini you ada satu nilai, dekat sini you ada satu nilai. So jarak di antaranya, jarak di antara ini nilai joule, nilai tenaga yang kita perlukan untuk bergerak daripada sini ke sini adalah 0.54 joule. Itu maksud dia. Okay, so that what it means. Okay, so dia perubahan itu. Tetapi waktu you berada di sini, you ada tenaga. You have your own energy. You ada dekat sini pun, you have your own energy. But the value are not given. So initial value and final value of the energy are not given for you. But during the process, you are given the changes of the energy, berapa banyak tenaga yang kita dah guna sewaktu perubahan. So that is why the word change is very crucial. Perkataan change sangat-sangat memberi maksud dalam you punya ayat. So that is why kena highlightkan juga, bukan setakat potential energy, change of potential energy, meaning dia punya simbol delta U. Okay, and then the last one, question asking you for Q. Q is a charge. Okay, now we look at apakah kaedah nak jawab. Okay, so kita akan start dengan delta U. Kenapa kita nak start dengan delta U? Sebab inilah permulaan yang kita dapat. Konsep. Ini konsep. This is a concept. Delta U equal to U final minus U initial. This is a concept and you are given the marks for this. Okay, you are given 1 marks lah. Mostly you akan given marks for this because of this is a concept in physics dan diceritakan pun dalam soalan. And that is why kalau you tak faham pun konsep fizik, you baca perkataan changes and then you dapat. Okay, so for those yang masih lagi tak faham, so why delta U meanings final minus initial? Okay, in physics kita guna macam tu. Okay. Okay, please take note, when you have a delta, simbol segitiga ni, kita akan ambil nilai akhir tolak nilai awal. Okay, that is it. Itu kita punya konsep lah. Okay, kita akan ambil final minus initial, not initial minus final. Okay, delta. Okay, sebab dia melibatkan proses lah. Proses, maksud dia hujung you kat sana, sebelum dan selepas. Okay, selepas kena tolak lah sebab kita nak tengok perubahan. Tak kisah, walaupun value you dapat negatif pun, don't worry. Don't you worry about the value negative and positive answer. So that is why you must have the right concept. Delta means you ambil nilai akhir tolak nilai awal. Final minus initial. Anything. Kalau you have delta F, meaning force kan. Force final minus force initial. Kalau delta P, momentum. Delta P. P final minus P initial. Delta anything, energy, delta E equal to E final minus E initial. So when you have a delta here meaning changes. Changes dia perubahan tu kita ukur daripada yang akhir tolak yang awal. Okay, that's it. Yang tu you jangan lupa lah, forget. Don't forget about the concept itself. This is a concept. Okay, hidden concept. During the question. Inside of the question dia sebut. Okay, so from here, okay, sekarang ni macam mana kita boleh dapat ni? Okay, ni now you are looking for the formula for potential energy. Okay, kita balik kepada soalan formula kita, list of the formula. Okay, can we repeat? Okay, list of the formula tadi. So you can look by yourself the energy. Simbol energy kena tahu U kan. So ada dua saja simbol, 7 and 8. So formula 2 ni saja nak dapat. Okay. Sekarang look carefully. You nak pilih antara atas dengan yang bawah. Kalau you ambil yang bawah, you ada 1, 2, 3. You ada Q1, Q2 and Q3. Look into your question. Kita ada berapa Q? 2 sahaja. So yang mana nak pakai? Yang atas ke yang bawah? Of course lah. Formula number 7. So that is why the 7 is more suitable for you to answer this question. So we are using U equal to K Q1 Q2 divided by R between 1 and 2. So proceed kita punya soalan. There. So instead of 1 and 2, saya label sebagai Q and P. Okay. So we have K Q Q QP divided by R. R between Q and P. Okay, Q and P. So ini untuk yang final. Final means you dah bergerak dekat sini lah. Q dekat hujung. Meaning you take note about your R. R is distant. Jadi distant from P and Q. So that means your distance is not 5. Your distance is 15. 10 campur 5. Ni tolong ingat. Sebab tu gambar rajah ni sangat membantu. Okay. So your R, please take note lah. So R for initial, again the same equation, K, Q, Q, QP divided by R for initial value. Initial means your starting point. So Q here, starting. So jarak daripada P adalah 10. So your R is 10. So you can see by yourself, the value for K, Q, Q, QP and QQ, okay, semua value dekat atas ni sama. Bila sama, you belajarkan dalam matematik, if the same, you boleh factorizekan nilai itu keluar. So now I'm factorizing. To simplify lah, kita nak nampak supaya formula tu senang you nak substitute. Tak payah nak substitute banyak sangat nombor. Okay, so you simplify, you factorizekan, you dapat K, QQ, QP, and then you tinggal apa? Tinggal 1 over R final minus 1 over R initial, and then you please take note your final 15 centimeter. Your initial is 10 centimeter. So convert into SI unit. So delta U is a 0.54. Ini nilai yang dia bagi. So soalan tanya apa? Ni, this soalan nak cari yang ni. QQ. Charge of Q. So this is a what question asking you. QQ. Okay. K is a constant value. QP. Okay. So I don't know where to get the QP. QP is the answer that you obtain from the part A. Soalan sebelum ni. You dapat. There. This value. See, charge Q of P, charge of P. So this is a value, you are using this value. Okay, katakanlah you kira soalan pertama you dapat salah. Contohlah for example, kalau let's say you salah tekan calculator ke, you salah substitute nilai ke, let's say you dapat nilai Q ni salah. Contoh untuk soalan yang. Dan you need to use this value masuk untuk second question. Okay, adakah dikira soalan akhir you salah, soalan yang kedua ni akan jadi salah? Of course lah, sebab you masukkan nilai yang salah kan. So of course lah you punya value QQ ni akan lari lah daripada jawapan yang sebenar. Okay, but you manage to get the correct answer. Why? Because kita akan bagi nilai tu betul. Walaupun nilai you tu jadi salah sebab you salah kira nilai Q ni, Q untuk P ni. Tapi you gunakan nilai yang salah tu masuk dalam substitution, your final answer untuk second part you dapat betul dengan syarat when you are calculating nilai itu, you tekan-tekan memang exactly kita dapat jawapan yang itulah, yang salah itulah jawapan tu. So itu dikira jawapan betul untuk awak sebab dah masukkan nilai yang salah. Kita tak buang dua kali lah, maksud dia kalau you dah substitute the wrong value, of course you akan dapat salah jawapan, tapi jawapan itu dikira betul untuk calculation sebab kita tengok calculation you, konsep you dah betul, substitution you betul, cuma you substitute nilai yang salah sebab nilai salah tu datang daripada jawapan sebelum ni. So jadi jangan risau. Okay, jangan risau soalan you kira tu betul ke salah ke, don't you, yang penting you focus on jalan kerja you. Bila you punya konsep tu dah betul, automatically consider jawapan tu selalunya betul lah. Dengan syarat you tekan calculator tu betul. So from here kita nak cari QQ ni, so you boleh susun semula lah equation ini. Kalau tak nak susun semula pun macam you selalu buat, you substitute siap-siap, you kira-kira dan yang mudah you untuk substitute. That one tak adalah tolak markah ataupun tak. Cuma I just want to focus on concept je. So this is the concept. So you're given 1 marks here, and then when you substitute the value, you get 1 mark, and then you calculate, find the answer, you get 1 mark. So this question dapat 3 markah sahaja. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, we proceed to example number 2. Okay, kita ada second example. This one is for chapter direct current. Okay, direct current. So chapter ni agak panjang dan markahnya paling banyak, which is 15 marks. So I'm using this example for you. Okay, so for the circuit in figure 2, so you're given this as a figure 2. Okay. So determine current I1, I2 and I3. B, number of electron passing through 9 ohms resistor in 2 seconds. C, power dissipated by the 5 ohms resistor. D, change in the resistance of the 2 ohms resistor when there is a 30 degrees Celsius rise in its temperature. The temperature coefficient of resistivity of the resistor is 6.8 times 10 power of negative 3 per degree Celsius. Okay. Kita akan start satu-satu lah. We proceed with one by one. Okay, now look at the first questions. Part A, current 1, current 2 and current 3. So you need to calculate okay, very simple. Soalan ni sangat senang. Not sangat senang, sangat direct because of you are given the figure to helping you to imagine the case, and then tak ada soalan penyataan pun, terus direct kepada soalan. Okay, current I1, I2, I3. So calculate based on the equation and based on the figure. So this is the only highlighting yang kita ada. So simbolnya I lah, current. Okay, sekarang macam mana nak cari? So when you look at this, the problem, okay, if you look at this, the figure itself, it shows what? You ada 3 power supply dalam satu circuit. Okay, so you have 7 volt, 3 volt and 8 volts. Okay, so this is how I differentiate lah. Maksudnya cara saya nak membezakan between circuit itu, dia nak tanya pasal series parallel resistor ke dia nak tanya pasal Kirchhoff law. Okay, very basic, Kirchhoff law. It's very basic. Kalau you nak guna Kirchhoff law tu, simple saja. Kalau you nampak power supply ada banyak macam ni. Okay, dalam satu circuit you ada banyak power supply. Okay, so dia soalan itu nak you pakai konsep Kirchhoff law tu lah. Okay, kalau dia nak tanya series dengan parallel, dia bagi satu je power supply, dia bagi banyak resistor. So I hope this tricks helping you lah. Saya harap you, okay. So kita tengok circuit dia pun kita dah boleh nampak dia nak tanya apa sebenarnya, sebab ada banyak power supply, dia nak tanya konsep Kirchhoff law. Okay, Kirchhoff law. So what is it Kirchhoff law? Ada 2 kan? Ada 2 rule. Okay, so now I'm showing you lah untuk dia punya ni. Okay, sekarang kita tengok rule here. The first one, we have a summation of EMF equal to summation of IR, and then ataupun kita panggil loops rule, okay, law. And then the second part adalah summations of current flowing in any junction equal to summations of current flowing out from a junction itself. Okay, so ada 2 law, and then wajib pakai dua-dua. Okay, wajib pakai dua-dua law. Okay, so second problem when student answering the Kirchhoff rule adalah dia tak tahu nak tentukan mana you punya loop. Okay, this is very important lah. You doesn't know how to look. Okay, now I'm telling you very important. The most part yang you banyak understanding lah, yang banyak yang salah, misunderstanding. Okay, sekarang kita fokus dulu untuk nak tengok I in and I out. Okay, I in and out very simple. Okay, this part when you want to look in and out, you only focus on junction. Tengok dekat simpang junction. Junction ni ada berapa? Junction paling sikit kita ada 3. Bila you tengok ada 3 garisan bercantum, ni lah dekat sini ataupun di kawasan ini, so 3 garisan yang bercantum, dia membentuk junction. Kalau yang ni kita tak dapat junction, kita dapat corner ataupun selekoh lah. Kita ada 2 line, 2 garisan yang bercantum, kita dapat corner. Kalau 3 garisan yang bercantum ini kita panggil je junction, simpang 3 ataupun T-junction. This is what you call as a T-junction kan. Okay, so this is your junction or this is your junction. So ada 2 junction kat sini. So nak pilih yang mana, tak ada masalah, you bebas pilih mana-mana junction yang you nak pilih, tetapi kena mention kan junction itu nama apa. So this is why I'm suggesting you labeling the junction itself so that when you writing down, kita nampak oh junction tu you punya equation ni based on this part of the junction, bukannya sebelah kanan. Macam tu. So junction ada dua. Tak kira lah you ambil mana-mana junction, you punya equation dia dapat equation yang sama. Cuma berbezanya nilai ini berada di sebelah kanan ataupun sebelah kiri. Maksudnya dia akan jadi terbalik lah. Kalau macam the equation that I'm writing down right here, I2 equal to I1 plus I3 is the junction on the left hand side. If you are using the junction on right hand side, you will get I1 plus I1 plus I3 equal to I2. So the same equation, cumanya tulisan tu kita tulis belah kiri atau belah kanan. Itu saja. So that is why in and out gonna be opposite bila hujung sini atau hujung sini. So that is why you must clear. Kalau you can check yourself. Kalau you writing down tiba-tiba lah you tulis okay, saya tulis I2 sama dengan I1 tolak I3 for example. Okay, you tulis macam tu. Tiba-tiba you tengok kat junction satu lagi, you check, you tak dapat minus, you dapat tambah. Meaning what? Salah satu junction you, salah equation dia. So that is why you can check. Supposed to be both junction you have the same equation. Okay, kalau you dapat dua-dua equation tu betul, maknanya betul lah equation you. Kalau you satu tak sama kan, kalau tak sama, satu betul, satu salah. So you need to check sampai dapat sama. Itu maksud dia. Current flow in, current flow out. So you need to write, kena lukis lah arrow tu macam mana, current flow. Current flow you tahu kan, from positive terminal to negative terminal. So kalau kat sini current I2 flowing dia ke kiri, and then dia masuk lah kat junction ni, masuk ke junction ni, and then dia akan keluar I1 and then keluar I3. I3 akan masuk ke negative terminal of 8 volt and I1 akan masuk ke negative terminal of 7 volt. So that is why kita tahu I2 in, I1 and I3 is out at this junction. Kalau this junction, I1 akan flowing into the junction, and then I3 also can flow into the junction, and then I2 flowing out from that junction. So this is why you still get the same equations. Okay, so the most trickiest part is a lot of students have a problem to determine the loop. Okay, so saya tak tahu, masih sekarang saya tak tahu which part of it is negative, bila nak negative, bila nak positive. Very simple. Okay, now look at here, Kirchhoff law. On the on your left hand side, you have the EMF. EMF only focus on your power supply. Okay. EMF only focus on power supply. So okay, so you look at your power supply. Okay, so I have two loops here. Loop once on the upper part, loop 2 on the bottom part. Okay, you can see I'm using loop ni nak ikut macam mana. Okay, loop nak senang, nak the most easiest part, kalau you nak senang dalam you punya pembentukan equation, you ambil loop awak, tolong ikut flow of the current. Seboleh-boleh mungkin ikut flow of the current. Kalau tak boleh, for example, tiba-tiba lah katakan you nak ambil macam ni lah. Okay, I look at the flow of the current. 7 volt positif dekat sini, negatif kat sini. Dia akan flow macam ni kan. Current flow masuk and then dia jumpa negatif. Betul lah, dia akan keluar current sini masuk. So you nampak loop dia dalam bentuk clockwise, ikut arah jam. So saya ambil loop saya ikut arah jam. Kenapa ambil loop ikut arah jam? Sebab current flow ikut arah jam. Okay, kenapa kita nak sama? Sebab when your loop, the directions of the loop and the direction of current flow in the same direction, sama arah dia. So that means the value here is positive. Nilai dia positif. Kalau opposite direction, loop ni directionnya berlawanan dengan directions of the current flow, nilai dia akan jadi negatif. That is it. Very simple. Sebab itu, loop you choose by yourself, tentukan. Tapi nak senang sebab dalam calculation mesti you nak banyak positif kan, tak nak negative number. So you nak positive number. So that is why you choose the loop following the current flow. Tiba-tiba lah, saya dah follow dah yang atas ikut current flow, tiba-tiba dekat bawah ni dia opposite direction. So macam mana loop saya salah ke? Tak. Loop you betul, you follow yang atas is a positive, yang bawah nilainya negatif. Itu maksud dia. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so now you follow kebetulan my loop following the directions of the current. So meaning all is a positive. So that means V plus with the 7V plus with the 3V. So 7 plus 3 is a 10 on the left hand side. On the right hand side, you look at the resistor. You have the 2 ohms, 2 times with the, what is the current flow for the 2 ohm? I1. What is the current flow for the 9 ohm? I2. So that means 2 times I1 plus, because of you are following the same direction, current flow and the loop is the same direction, so plus 9 times with the I2. So you have the one equation. So another one, second loop, look for another loop. So now my loop is following the flow of the current. Nampak? Dia positif, keluar, dia masuk kat sini, dia keluar balik. Okay. So, sorry. So now I have the second loop, and then 3 and 8 is a plus because of same direction with the loop, 8 plus 3. So you can get 11. So look at here. Okay, sekarang ni 9 ohm tadi, you dah guna untuk the first loop. Okay, sekarang ni a bit tricky. Bila you are sharing the same 9 ohm untuk second loop, you kena tengok positif negatif dia, you kena tengok tally tak dengan yang atas. Maksud dia, kalau direction yang you ambil ini, sekarang 9 ohm ni follow direction bawah, ke kanan, ke kiri, ke kiri. Current flow dia ke kiri. Kalau you ambil loop atas, you tengok yang bawah, yang area atas, you akan nampak dia punya flow of the current pun dekat 9 ohm ni pun ke kiri. So maksudnya matching. Yang bawah pun ikut ke kiri, yang atas pun ke kiri. So that's mean untuk second loop, you can use 9 ohm. 9 ohm sebagai positive value lah. The current flow is positive. Sebab you nak matching the same direction of the current I1, I2 and I2 yang bawah ni. Flowing dia sama. Let's say lah, katakan tiba-tiba you punya ni, contoh kita ambil terbalik. Flowing loop you terbalik. Okay, jadi maksudnya untuk bahagian bawah, walaupun dekat atas you dah tulis plus 9 I2, dekat bawah you kena tulis negative 9 I2. Opposite direction sebab you ambil loop you terbalik dengan direction of the current flow. So dah sesuai lah. Okay, and then the last part, yang I3 flow ikut 5 I3. So you get 3 equation. When you get 3 equation already, you boleh bebas nak guna apa saja method untuk dapatkan nilai ketiga-tiga, I1, I2 and I3. Some of your lecturer ada ajar untuk gunakan dalam bentuk matrix. Kan you belajar matematik, you boleh matrices, you tekan je calculator, you substitute value semua, you can get I1, I2, I3. Or kalau you nak pakai simultaneous equation pun boleh, tak ada masalah. Sebab there are no given marks for that. Tak ada markah diberi untuk macam mana you kira dapat I1, I2, I3. Markah hanya diberi untuk konsep ni. Setiap satu equation yang you dapat ni, ini 1 marks. So this is 1 marks, 1 marks and 1 marks, 3 marks. And then your final answer. I1 berapa, I2 berapa, I3 berapa. So tak kisahlah apa method sekalipun yang you guna untuk dapatkan value I1, I2, I3. So as long as you get the correct equation, you always get the correct answer. Sebab calculator tak menipu kita lah, as long as you letakkan nilai yang betul. Itu saja. Okay, so I just showing you how you using Kirchhoff law to get the right equations. Okay, part B. Okay, masih lagi soalan dia berkaitan lah. Bila ada pecahan macam ni dia berkait. Masih lagi guna the same figure. And then number of electron passing through the 9 ohm resistor in 2 seconds. So what is our concept? Kita punya keywords, number of electrons, okay, and then time 2 second. Ohm, sebab dah berdiri dalam gambar rajah, so I no need for me to highlight because of in figure I can see clearly 9 ohm is in the middle here. Current flow here ni kita nak tengok. Okay, so you can get number of electrons, simbolnya N. Sometimes we are using capital N, sometimes we are using small n. Okay, so but it's N stand for number. T is a time for the 2 seconds. Okay, so what is the equations related? So tadi kita nampak kan dekat dalam chapter 3 ni, okay, tadi you boleh pilih lah. Okay, kita ada number of electron, kita ada what we call that things, we have a time. So what we need to do? Okay, you need to use the value that you are already calculate in the part A. Sebab ni soalan berkait. So part A kita kira apa? I1, I2, I3. Maksudnya kita dah ada nilai current. Okay, we have the current value, you have a voltage, we have the resistor here. So we know the current flow dekat 9 ohm ni adalah I2. Berapa nilai I2? You dah kira dekat atas. So you have the current, you have the resistor, you have a time, and then question asking you number of electron. Nak cari N. So kalau you tengok dalam equations, kita akan dapat definition for current. I equal to dq over dt. Ada Q, ada T. Okay, sabar dulu sebab tak ada N. Okay, Q is a charge. I ada tak? Ada I2 tadi. Okay. T ada tak? Ada T. 2 seconds. Now you have a Q. Okay. Kalau you tengok balik lagi sekali equation itu dalam formula, you akan jumpa dia punya equation Q equal to N times E. So then you're going to use that equation, substitute into this formula, so you can get I2 equal to NE divided by T. So you get N is the number of electrons, what we're going to calculate. E is the value of the charge, value for one charge, and dia adalah constant, nilai untuk satu charge. Okay, itu adalah constant dan also constant given for you. And then T is a 2 second given here inside of the question. And I2 is, which is you already calculate in the first part of the question. So that means you can rearrange to find the value of N. See, this is how you are using the for information given for you. Sebab tu tak susah untuk jawab soalan fizik, sebabnya kalau you tak faham konsep pun, you pelan-pelan tengok formula apa nak pakai, hubung kait formula apa nak kena guna, kemudian ambil apakah nilai yang kita dah tahu. Itu saja. Okay, so C, power dissipated, very important lah. The question strictly asking you for the power flowing in the 5 ohm resistor. So resistor yang bawah pula. Jangan salah pula ambil tadi resistor atas, sekarang resistor bawah. So 5 ohm. So what is the current flow? I3. Sekarang power dissipated. P. Power have a lot of equation or formula. So you have PIV, you have PI square R, you have PI square over V. Okay. So when you have a lot of equations, which one you need to use? Okay. Avoid guna benda yang you tak tahu. Maksudnya kalau you can use IV, okay, but the question asking you exactly 5 ohm, you are given R. So avoid jangan tak pakai nilai R. Macam itulah maksud dia. Boleh je kalau you tak nak pakai, you nak pakai yang lain, pakai V. Tetapi takut majority of you ada problem salah masuk nilai V. Sebab this is V across this battery. This is a V yang kita nak kira adalah V across this resistor. So you need to, you kena betul-betul tahu nilai apa yang you nak masukkan. So that is why dia dah bagi nilai R, ambillah nilai yang dia bagi. So using equation yang ada R, jangan ambil nilai, jangan masukkan nilai yang dia tak bagi tetapi you nak kira sendiri. Boleh, tak salah, cuma you senang buat careless mistake. Be simple, jangan complicated yourself. Be simple because of we doesn't want to burden our mind. So P equal to I squared R, and then I is I3 because of the current flowing inside of the 5 ohm resistor is I3. So I3 squared times with the R is a 5 ohm, I3 is the value that you already calculate at the part A. So you can get the power dissipated. And then the last part, D, change in the resistance of the 2 ohm resistor when there is a 30 degrees Celsius rise in its temperature, the temperature coefficient or resistivity of the resistor is 6.8 times 10 power of negative 3 per degree Celsius. Okay. Ini nampak macam panjang kan? Tapi kalau you tengok betul-betul, you tarik all the information keluar, you akan nampak, you akan get, okay, change in resistance. Again, I already told you, changes means delta. Changes of R, changes of resistance. Okay, and then you are given resistor, the value of the resistor of 2 ohm. So kita tengok resistor yang dekat atas ni, 2 ohm. Okay, so when the temperature rise maksudnya increasing the value of temperature. So dia meningkat sebanyak 30 degree Celsius, tetapi dia tak bagi tahu berapakah nilai sebelum dan selepas peningkatan. Okay, so this is what you must understand. The word is 30 degrees Celsius rise, meaning the temperature initial and final are not given for you, but you are given how much the value of temperature is rising. So that is why dia hanya dibagi tahu 30 degrees Celsius. That's it. Okay. So you are given 30 degrees Celsius rise. So there is delta T, should be delta T, meaning, okay, I'm sorry for that. It should be delta T, perubahan dia sebanyak 30 degrees Celsius. And then temperature coefficients of resistivity symbol is a alpha. So which formula that you need to use? Okay, first of all, delta R, because of changes in resistance. So meaning R final minus R initial. Okay, but like I said, you are not given the value of R final or R initial. The question asking you to calculate delta R, not R final or R initial. And you are given temperature, delta T ni. T minus T naught. This is a delta T. So you can all directly substitute 30 degrees Celsius here. Okay, careful with the unit. We already know that unit for temperature, SI unit for temperature is a Kelvin. But please take note, this is a rise. Maksudnya perbezaan antara final dengan initial. Kalau you convert dalam Kelvin sekalipun, the rising is still the same. Okay, perubahan dia tetap sama kalau you convert the temperature dalam Kelvin. Okay, so this is why you need to take note lah. 30 degree ni apa dia? Jarak di antara the gap between the temperature or the value of the temperature itself. So that is why you must very important kena betul-betul faham lah apa nilai 30 degree Celsius. Okay, so that means this is a delta T. So you can directly substitute 30 here. Alpha is this value given for you. 1 is a 1. R naught, meaning what? R naught stand for initial resistance. So initial resistance is a 2 ohm. Okay, 2 ohm. This is your initial resistance, nilai mula-mula sekali sebelum temperature berubah. So when you substitute into the formula, you can get the value of R. This is a formula only to calculate the R. So that's mean ini R apa? Ini adalah nilai R selepas berlakunya peningkatan temperature sebanyak 30 darjah. So that's mean this is your final R. So what you are using here, you calculate here is the final resistance after increasing in temperature. So this is R final. What is the R initial? Again, substitute again the value of 2 ohm. So this is a initial R. So that is why you can get the answer delta R, meaning the changes between final and initial. So ramai student yang akan buat silap kat sini kat mana dia hanya calculate using this formula saja, dapat nilai R, and then they expecting that that is the value R for the answer. But you forgot the word change. Change meaning delta. So we want the gap between R final and initial. We doesn't want to know the value of R final. What you are calculating here using the equation is the final R. Okay, please be careful with the questions. So the word, like I said, the word change means a lot. Okay, dia boleh mengubah benda yang kita nak ukur. Okay, so that's it for our tips. Okay, so itu saja yang saya nak kongsi. I do hope that you really understand what I'm sharing. You can helping you. What I'm sharing is helping you in terms of preparation for PSPM2. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm open to any questions. Okay, soalan. So, if use formula number 6, finding electric potential. Formula number 6. Okay. So you want to so you want to calculate. Let me see my slide. Okay. So you want to find numbers. Okay, you want to use the equations for number 6, which is delta U equal to. Okay, we look at the questions. Sorry, we look for the formula. Okay, number 6, delta U equal to Q delta V. Okay, kalau you nak guna benda tu, the problem is ask yourself delta V. Which part of V is delta V? You ada tak delta V kat sini? Maksudnya perubahan electric potential. Okay, asking yourself, dalam formula, dalam cerita ni, dalam soalan ini, ada tak dia bagi nilai electric potential? Ataupun the changes, okay, electric potential different, delta V means different, electric potential different. Ada tak disebut? Kalau you baca, tak ada satu pun disebut perkataan electric potential different. Yang dia cakap potential energy, yes. So that's mean, kalau tak tanya boleh atau tak boleh, kalau you tanya I, kalau you find a way memang you akan dapat. Sebab you akan cari, maksudnya you jalan kerjanya panjang lah. Cari dulu electric potential, kira electric potential and then using that formula. Nampak tak? Jalan you jauh. Sebab kalau you nak pakai delta U sama dengan Q delta V, you kena pakai balik V KQ divided by R. Yes, again, samalah. Tapi kalau you using this one, substitute into this equation, you end up dapat the same equation yang saya guna. Saya guna here. What I'm using here. So maksudnya nak cakap you will lead to the same concept, tetapi cara kerja you panjang dan a bit complicated for yourself sebab you nak pakai formula yang tak ada pun ceritanya dekat dalam soalan. Faham tak? Tetapi you kena fikir lain. You kena fikir macam mana sekarang nak cari delta V ni. See, you complicated yourself. Guys, what I'm trying to suggest to you is directly from the question itself, you are given all the hints. So how you want to find the right right equation based on the hint given inside of the question, you hanya ambil apa yang berkait dengan formula. So dia lebih menyenangkan kita supaya kita nampak jalan kerja kita ni betul lah. Sebenarnya kita dah ikut dah apa syarat-syarat yang ada dalam soalan. Dia macam tu lah. Kalau you jawab mengikut syarat-syarat soalan itu, you dapatlah jawapan. Tapi kalau you nak ambil formula tadi, tak salah. Boleh, you still can get the right answer. Problem is you need to really careful on what you are looking for. Itu saja. Okay.
Okay, soalan seterusnya.
Okay, hi sir, how can we determine the directions of the current if the directions are not given in the Kirchhoff rules? Okay, how you determine the directions of the current? Like I said just now, kalau you nak tengok directions of the current, okay, memang dia tak bagi dalam ni kan, dia tak tulis. You need to know that current are flowing from the positive terminal of the power supply and flowing out from the positive terminal, and then dia masuk balik flowing in dekat negative terminal. So this is a concept. Everyone need to know. Okay, you kena faham current mengalir tu macam mana dekat power supply. Positive terminal dia keluar, negative terminal dia masuk. So there kena simpan dalam kepala kita. Kalau dia tak bagi pun, you need to understand by yourself. You need to draw. You need to draw the arrow that represent that concept inside of your circuit. So this is why don't too dependent on the question tu kena bagi nilai current and then kalau tak bagi tak boleh jawab. Tak boleh lah. Sebabnya itu konsep basic. Current flowing tu daripada mana ke mana semua orang kena tahu. When you are learning electric, you need to know current flowing from positive terminal to negative terminal. That one you need to know. Okay.
Okay, soalan seterusnya.
Sir, is there any tips in answering chapter 5? Okay, chapter 5, which part of it? Saya kena tengok balik chapter 5. What is chapter 5? Chapter 5 is alternating current. Okay, the tips. Okay, so to share with you the tips for chapter 5, okay. Actually, chapter 5, kalau kita nak tengok alternating current, when you are reading the questions, the tips that I can share with you, when you are reading the questions, one thing that you need to know when after you reading, tanya diri awak, circuit ini circuit apa? Maksud dia pure resistor ke, pure conductor ke, ataupun circuit campuran, RL ke, RCL ke, macam tu. Okay, you need to know what types of circuit first because of you have a lot of formula. And then that formula is specific, depends on the type of circuit. So this is why, first of all, when you reading the question, asking yourself what types of circuit it is. And then second, asking balik, soalan tanya apa, nak cari voltage ke, nak cari current ke, nak cari power ke. Then from there you can tengok you punya equation kat mana nak jawab based on apa soalan tanya. This is my tips, okay. Tengok dulu jenis circuit. Okay. Soalan seterusnya.
Soalan seterusnya.
Sir, do you have any tips how to determine the sign of for U, V, F, and R in concave and convex lens, and how to explain its characteristic? Okay, this is a good question. Okay, so okay, U and V tak ada masalah. Maksudnya U and V, image distance and object distance. You need to know when it's positive, it's real. Virtual, negative. Okay. So V and U, when you have a virtual image, for example, virtual image, V is negative. Real image, V is positive. Same with the U. U, positive, real. Negative U, virtual. But most of the time, you is always real lah. Dalam dunia kita ni jaranglah kita jumpa objek kita virtual. Objek kita semua real, wujud nyata kan. Okay, objek kita real. And the question mostly selalunya pun akan bagi objek kita real. Objek yang betul-betul mewujud lah, wujud. Okay, so you only focus on V, either virtual or real. Okay, a tips for you, when your V, okay, sebab you cakap tadi karakteristik kan, okay, dia ada kembar ya. When you have a virtual image, automatically you punya image gonna be upright. Okay, you akan menegak. Kalau dia virtual, dia akan tegak. Kalau dia real, dia akan inverted, which is dia terbalik. So that's mean kalau when you are reading the question, if the question tak cakap virtual atau real, dia akan cakap inverted ataupun upright. So you kena tahu bila upright, dia punya pasangan dia adalah virtual. Kalau dia inverted, pasangannya adalah real. Yang tu dia. Okay, dia akan tukar macam tu. Diminish or diminish ataupun magnified, you kena tengok dekat you punya magnification. Okay, kalau value dia melebihi nilai 1, you magnify. Kalau value dia kurang daripada 1, okay, 0 point something, so dia adalah diminish, mengecil. So for F, okay, for F, R setahu saya tak ada negatif positif, is it? Okay, F kalau you nak tengok jenis concave dan convex, dia terbalik saja. F kalau mirror, concave mirror positif, convex mirror negatif. Kalau lens dia terbalik. Okay, so kalau you tak faham sangat macam ni, you tengok mirror dengan lens macam kalau nak tengok focal positif bila mana dia fokus lah, kita fokus the ray. Kalau dalam cermin yang focusing mirror ataupun kita panggil converging mirror is a concave mirror. Okay, diverging mirror is a convex mirror. So dia terbalik dengan lens. Kalau lens kanta yang menumpu, yang focusing all the light in one point adalah convex lens. Okay, kalau diverging all the lights away from you adalah concave lens. So F, if you have the types of diverging lens or diverging lens or diverging mirror, so that's mean kita punya F is negative. Kalau you have focusing ataupun converging lens or converging mirror, your F is a positive. This is how you nak tentukan. Okay, clear?
Okay, soalan seterusnya.
Okay, so kalau untuk interference and reflected in thin film, memang akan pakai disruptive for both in phase and anti phase. Kalau untuk interference and reflected in thin film, memang akan pakai disruptive for both in phase and anti phase. What you mean by disruptive for both in phase and anti phase? Sebab I'm not clear, sebabnya tak semestinya, sebab disruptive interference, okay, in phase ada disruptive interference, ada constructive interference. Anti phase also have disruptive interference, also have constructive interference. So you nak pakai disruptive or constructive depends on the question. If the question telling you a bright fringe, okay, bright fringe mean constructive interference. Kalau question tanya you dark fringe, so you have destructive interference. Itu saja.
Okay, soalan seterusnya.
Okay, so any tips to conquer chapter 7? So chapter 7 is a physical optic. Okay. Chapter 7, if you want to, okay, there is a tips here for you to conquer the chapter 7. Chapter 7, first of all, you need to know what types of experiment it is. Sebab you ada banyak kisah, there are a lot of case. You have a young double slit experiment, you have a single slit, you have diffraction grating, you have thin film. Okay, so jadi first of all, when you reading, you need to know what type of cases you are. Either thin film, single slit, you have a diffraction grating, you have a double slit. So tengok yang tu dulu. So after that, bila you dah tahu thin film, kena careful. Thin film ada dua jenis, in phase dengan apa? Thin film ada dua kisah, in phase or anti phase. So you need to differentiate. Okay, so there's a lot of cases. First, when you reading, you need to know the cases first, and then from there, after you know the case, then you boleh kecilkan sebab every cases dia ada formula specifically for that case. So for example, let's say soalan for chapter 7. Okay, So formula 71 and 72, okay, formula 71 dengan 72 tu fokus dia adalah yang double slit experiment dengan 73. So 74, 75 adalah thin film. So 76 and 77 single slit. Okay, 78 diffraction grating, 79 diffraction grating. So nampak tak, bila you tahu kisah dia, you baru tahu formula apa nak guna. Okay, so that is for chapter 7.
Okay,
Okay.
So soalan.
Okay, what value we should substitute in M value in thin films for thin film formula? Thin film M value. Okay. Thin film, okay, sekarang ni a lot of you have a problem lah kan nak masukkan nilai apa sebenarnya dalam formula tu. Okay, depends on the question. Okay, depends on the formula that you're using. Kalau if you are using 2nt is equal to m lambda, okay, if you are using 2nt m lambda, so we substitute m is a 1. Okay, because of kenapa tak boleh jadi kosong walaupun okay, sebab kalau you ambil kosong m, okay, anything 0 times with any value you can get 0, so that means tak wujud lah kan benda tu. Okay, tak ada value lah. Bila tak ada value, what is purpose we are calculating kalau tak ada value kan. So jadi soalan takkanlah suruh you substitute 0 kalau you are using 2nt equal to m lambda formula. But if you are using the formula 2nt equal to m plus half lambda, okay, that m can be 0. Here's the tips lah, okay. So kalau you confused nak masukkan nilai apa, okay, kenapa yang tu boleh jadi 0, kenapa tak? Sebab tadilah kata kalau m 0 darab dengan lambda any value you can get 0, meaning you tak boleh nak selesaikan masalah sebab dah kosong, jawapan you kosong. Okay, tapi kalau you dapat formula yang ada plus half, you masukkan m is equal to 0, 0 plus half you can get half. So formula tu takkan cancel dari 0, dia akan dapat nilai half lambda. So you still can calculate. Okay, itu one thing untuk you nak tengok nilai apa. Kalau ada plus half, you letak 0. Kalau m, you letak 1. Tak ada half. Okay, sekarang kenapa 1 ataupun kosong? Sebab dalam thin film mostly kita akan ambil yang paling the most brightest or the most darkest, like that. So that's why we ambil the smallest value of order yang paling kecil, sekecil-kecilnya, sebab kita nak tengok the most bright, yang paling terang sekali yang mana, macam tu lah. So dari siswa kita ambil order yang paling sikit. So paling sikit kosong lah. Kalau tak boleh kosong, 1 lah. Itu je yang you letak. Okay.
So tak ada pelajar-pelajar boleh tanya soalan lagi melalui live chat. Okay. Dan diingatkan juga pada pelajar boleh isi borang G Drive kita untuk kita revise balik. Okay, insyaAllah time depan kita akan bertemu kembali dan mungkin kita boleh upgrade. Okay, boleh bagi komen-komen untuk kita serve better lagi. Okay, so setakat ni dah tak ada lagi soalan. Jadi sebelum kita tamatkan sesi kita, sepatah dua kata motivasi daripada Shakir untuk pelajar-pelajar fizik kita. Silakan.
Okay. Nasihat saya lah, okay. Apa yang saya nak sampaikan, satu, yang pertama, okay. So untuk pelajar, for those all the students yang ketika menjawab soalan fizik, one thing yang saya sangat-sangat nak you buat adalah when you are reading the question, when you try to answering the question, yang pertama sekali tolong bertenang, okay. Please relax, tolong relax. Sebab most of the student when you are reading the question, you have the eagerness to answer the question, yes, which is very good. But if you too eager to answer the question, you sometimes you forget how to read carefully each questions, ayat dia apa, perkataan dia apa, simbol dia apa. So jangan terlalu kata orang tu gairah untuk menjawab sampai you lupa untuk membaca. So you kena focus on what you are doing at the moment. So when you are reading the question, focus on reading. Don't focus on how to get the answers. Okay, focus on reading first. Focus to understand the question. So tolong bertenang, keep calm, okay, tolong bertenang sepanjang you buat. Kalau you buat tu soalan you dah mula rasa macam I'm start to panic, okay, stop, relax, okay, tarik nafas dulu and then continue. Sebabnya bila mental you dalam panic, you tak boleh berfikir. How you force lah, you paksa lah macam mana pun, you takkan keluar. The idea is not there. So you need to keep calm sepanjang jawab. Sepanjang sampai you habis jawab, and then you check semula, keep calming. Sebab sometimes je lah emotion, kita bermain dengan perasaan. Bila kita tengok jam, masa dah nak habis, kita dah mula panik. So when you panic, you takkan dapat jawapan. Memang takkan dapat. So you need to keep calm, tenang, relax, sebab dalam exam you diberi masa 2 jam. Kita bukan nak uji selaju mana you jawab soalan. Kita nak uji dalam given a time 2 hours you answer berapa banyak yang betul. So itu tujuan exam, bukan jawab siapa lebih laju. Kita tak buat soalan quiz. Okay, itu saja nasihat dari saya.
Okey, ada satu soalan lagi last, boleh kita tengok?
Okey, boleh. Okay, so untuk soalan penerangan, adakah yang akan keluar mostly apabila kita derive balik daripada formula atau dia akan keluar soalan teori, example Planck quantum theory, Huygens law dalam PSPM? Soalan penerangan. Okay. So for the questions untuk explain lah kan, how to dia nak explain concept of physics. Okay, mostly akan keluar yang jenis derive balik formula. Okay, maksudnya you are using, sebab okay, don't get confused, dalam fizik formula itulah konsep. Bukannya you expect macam kita bagi you ayat panjang-panjang, okay inilah cerita dia. Tak, kita dah simplify kan. Okay, dalam fizisis ni dia dah simplify, dia dah pendekkan ayat yang panjang-panjang tu dalam bentuk formula. Formula tu menerangkan segala-galanya ayat yang you tengah cakap tu. Okay, jadi when you bila kita nak cerita ataupun nak explain konsep fizik ni, kita kena cerita berkenaan formula tu lah. Kita kena tulis formula tu lah. So kalau you kata soal mostly keluar macam mana, memang itulah sebenarnya yang kita expect student jawab. Maksudnya you need to using the formula, derive, tunjukkan bila ada berubah macam ni, apa berlaku. Bila berubah ini, apa berlaku. Based on the formula. This is how you answer soalan melibatkan explanation. Sebab kita explain berdasarkan formula. If you doesn't know how to writing down the formula related to the question, so that means you doesn't know how to explain. Itu cara kita explain. Okay.
Okay, so tak ada soalan, cuma ucapan terima kasih daripada pelajar-pelajar kita. Okay, so sesian kita memberi banyak tips. Okay, ini kira pecutan terakhir kita. Okay, semoga banyak manfaat, boleh di-apply dan mungkin pelajar boleh repeat tengok kita punya recording. Okay, dan semoga bermanfaat dan good luck untuk PSPM, semua mata pelajaran, terutamanya untuk sekarang fizik. Okay. Alright, kata akhir daripada Sir Shakir.
Kata akhir, semoga semua buat betul-betul lah, prepare, jangan lupa belajar dan keep jaga kesihatan lah sebelum exam. Itu saja.
Okay, itu jugalah. Okay, so terima kasih pada anak-anak sekalian. Semoga semua yang kita sharing setakat ni kita dah go through 3 slot. Dan jangan lupa kita ada satu lagi slot terakhir 7 Mei nanti, iaitu kimia. Kita sengaja tunggu sampai ke hujung-hujung untuk slot kimia. Okay, so sehingga kita bertemu kembali dalam slot 4 iaitu kimia pada 7 Mei nanti. So good luck, selamat mengulang kaji kepada anak-anak sekalian. Good luck. Okay, bye.
Salam.